Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game, it's a 4v4 match on the map Super Mekong. It's a casted game, and in the top left position, we've got Killer Floor, who is a ranked 100 player. If it's a real Killer Floor, it could be another player playing under his name. And here we've got Commie, who's ranked around 100 when he plays Quick Match, and he's playing as the Allies, as Yellow. We've got Henfer, who was a new player about a couple of months ago, but he's improved a lot since he started, playing as the Allies also. And in the bottom left, we've got Brown Puddle, and Brown Puddle is a really good player, ranked in the top 10 quite often when he plays Quick Match. And in the bottom right, we've got Nose, who's another ranked top 100 player who in Quick Match are playing as the Allies. We've got Photonics, who's playing as the Allies, and he's ranked probably around 20 when he plays Quick Match, so yeah, very, very strong player. And here we've got Rambo, who's a regular player, and he's playing as the Allies also. You can see him blocking the bridge there with his infantry. And we can see Hollywood, who's playing in the top right, and I'm not sure who this player is, so we'll have to see how he gets on. And you can see a little fight going on there. We can see that Brown Puddle is pushing in with some infantry. He's playing as a Soviet, so he does have access to grenadiers. And you can see he's pulling further in, and those grenadiers doing quite a bit of damage. And that was a big shot, and a lot of them died. And that's the disadvantage of using grenadiers. If your infantry are bunched too closely together, a whole load of them can be taken out at once. And now you can see Brown Puddle still trying to push in with infantry, and you can see Nose getting that war factory down. And we'll have to see what he goes for now, because I think he might go for a pillbox. He's actually built another ore silo, which I think that was a little bit of a weird move. And now you can see he's got a light tank out, and now he's got that pillbox, so those infantry are going to be pushed back. And you can see Brown Puddle taking those infantry back, and Nose is pushing in with his light tank, and you can see Photonics helping him with those infantry. And those infantry are going to go down. But you can see Brown Puddle is bringing more infantry in, and now Nose is in the base with that light tank, but that light tank is taking a lot of damage, and now Nose is pulling it back. He's got 3 light tanks. The problem is he's only got 1 ore refinery, so he's not going to be able to sustain this attack for too long unless he builds more ore trucks. And you can see he's lost 1 of those tanks, and those 2 tanks are going to the back of the base. But now you can see Henfer bringing in light tanks of his own, and that should be able to deal with whatever Nose has got in Brown Puddle's base. And you can see those tanks now going up to Henfer's base, and Henfer's following them. He's got the better tank numbers for the time being. Nose has now built a couple of ore trucks just to keep his economy going, and you can see he's focusing on Henfer's base at the moment. And now we can see Photonics bringing in some medium tanks, and Brown Puddle's going to have to be careful because he doesn't have any tanks at the moment. And you can see now Nose has gone out of Henfer's base, but now he's going for Brown Puddle's construction yard, and Henfer has to respond now because his tanks are still in his base. And you can see Brown Puddle has his hands full at the front of his base, and that construction yard is going to go down. And now Brown Puddle is going for the small power plant, and now Henfer's bringing his light tanks in. And you can see they're going for that ore refinery, and it does look like that ore refinery is going to go down, but fortunately Brown Puddle does have another one, so that won't hinder him too much. And now you can see Nose going back to Henfer's base as the fight continues at the front of Brown Puddle's base, and we'll have to see. And yeah, you can see Photonics is now pulling back a little bit. But you can see that Nose is going for the construction yard at Henfer's base as well. And it does look like he's going to get this because Henfer's tanks are a bit out of position. And that construction yard is going down. But those tanks are going to be cleared up. Now we're going to have a look at another part of the map at the top of the map. So you can see this fight here. You can see Killer Floor pulling back because you can see Hollywood has got a medium tank. So this was a bit earlier on in the game before everything happened at the bottom. And let's have a look at what Killer Floor's doing at the moment. So you can see he's got 2 ore trucks, and if we look at Hollywood, I'm going to guess he hasn't built the extra ore truck, and he's got 2 war factories. So he's gone for quite a rushy strategy, and now you can see Killer Floor with those infantry trying to move them around. You can see he's gone for another ore truck, so he's gone quite greedy here, and we're going to have to see if he does pay for this, because he might well do. And you can see there, he's building his light tanks. But you can see that those medium tanks are coming in now and are going for the ore truck. And this could be big trouble for Killer Floor because he's paid for that ore truck and it's going to be no good if it's dead. So he's taking out one ore truck and we're going to have to see he's going for another one as well. But you can see that Commie is coming up with his light tanks and you can see Killer Floor there building another ore refinery. I think though he could do with some base defences right at this moment in time. And those infantry were going to come up, but then Commie send them back to guard that gap, which is quite important. But we can see this fight going on here. We can see that Hollywood is losing quite a few tanks, and I don't think he's going to be able to get that construction yard. He just doesn't have enough numbers. Killer Floor has too many tanks, and he's going to take those medium tanks out, and Hollywood is now pulling back. And we can see that Commie's going into the top side of the map. He's gone through that gap, and I think he's just using that gap actually to attack Rambo, because he does seem to be heading for Rambo's base. But Rambo saw it, and now he's going for a light tank battle. And Hollywood is pulling back as Killer Floor is pushing forward. You can see that he's now built another ore refinery, so he does have 2 ore trucks. But we can see this fight here with Commie. Rambo's been able to clear most of those light tanks up, but that construction yard has gone down. So Rambo may be in a bit of trouble, but he doesn't look to be too bad at the moment. He's got too many tanks, and Commie's not going to be able to handle any of this. He's pulling them to the right now. But what we can see is that Commie's attacking from the left. So as he's pulled Rambo's tanks to the right, he's attacking from the left, and he's going to get that war factory. And that's a big win for Commie, because Rambo doesn't have a construction yard. His build speed's going to be halved. And now we can see that Cyan construction yard almost going down. So Hollywood almost lost his construction yard, but essentially he's kept it up, and Killer Floor has lost a lot of tanks trying to achieve that. So that's a big loss for Killer Floor. Now, Commie's going down, and he's going to go and attack Photonic's base. And we can see Killer Floor is building those tanks, guarding that gap. But what's happening at Photonic's base right now? And a war factory's gone down, and now he's going for a power plant, and now he's going to go for the construction yard. And there's too many tanks from Commie here, and that's going to go down. Photonic's selling it just before it got destroyed. And now we can see him heading down Nose's base. So we're going to go back to where we left off with Puddle, and you can see that him guarding that gap. Nose is now destroying Henfer's construction yard, and we can see that Photonic's is pushing in. And this is going to be hard for Killer Floor to defend, because Photonic's has the tank advantage at the moment. You can see him going for that power plant, and that power plant is not going to be able to be rebuilt because Brown Puddle does not have a construction yard, and now he's out of power, so his tank building speed is going to be very, very slow. We can also see Nose at the back of Puddle's base again, destroying that ore refinery. But you can see that what he did is he put an engineer in there to pull it back up to full health. But now Nose is destroying the barracks, and that's gone down. But Henfer does have a lot of tanks, and he's managing to push Nose back here. And I think Nose is probably going to go back up to Henfer's base, because then he'll bring his tanks up there instead of. But what he should do is use a lot of those tanks to guard that gap, because you can see that Photonic's is in, and it doesn't look like Puddle is going to last much longer. He's down to 1 war factory. He's got no power. He's got no barracks. And now Photonic's is going for the attack on that final war factory of Brown Puddle. And it does look like it is going to go down. And we could just see those Nose's tanks there being destroyed by Henfer. But his tanks are back in his base, and Photonic's is going to destroy the final building of Puddle. But you can see that Nose's base is under attack from Commie, and he's destroyed the construction yard. He's destroyed the power plants, a couple of power plants. He's still got some power left, but it looks like he's going to run out of steam here, because we've got Nose and Photonic's attacking his tanks, and he doesn't have many left. But we can see a big battle in the middle here. We can see Rambo sending his green tanks in, but we can see Henfer's defending along with Commie, but who hasn't got many tanks because he's been attacking the other players. But you can see as Henfer's defending, Photonic's is coming from the back of his base, and now Henfer's realised this, and he's sending some tanks back, and that's because gap at the bottom isn't guarded anymore, so it allows people to come in and perform sneak attacks. And we can see that war factory looks like it's gonna, is it gonna go down? And it does, and that's gonna halve Henfer's building speed, which is already going to be very, very slow because he doesn't have any power plants left. And now you can see Photonics just bringing the tanks into the back of his base, and they're going to be doing some attacks probably on those ore trucks. And now you can see that the left side is in big, big trouble because Rambo has just destroyed Commie's construction yard, and now he's going for the war factory. And now Commie's not going to be able to build, I don't think, any more tanks unless he's got another war factory further up. We'll have to see, but you can see his... oh yeah, he's got another war factory, but he's got no ore refinery, so he's not going to have any funds to build those tanks. And it's only a matter of time now before Commie is out of the game. You can see those tanks in the right side of the map now getting cleaned up by Nose and Photonics. So those tanks are going to provide no issues. And you can see there, Rambo, he's still got a large power plant, so he's still be able to produce tanks at a reasonable base rate, considering he's only got one war factory left. And we can see that Killer Flow is getting cleaned up, and he's got no ore left at the top of that map. So Hollywood is going to be able to just out-produce him and take over his base. And we can see now Photonics destroying the last of Commie's buildings, and Commie is going to be officially out of that game. And we can see it's clear as day now. Killer Flow's in trouble with those tanks from Hollywood coming in, destroying that barracks. And yeah, it looks like he's now going to go and destroy the war factories. And that's just going to cut his production. Actually, he's going for the ore truck first. Cut off the ore, but now... oh, he's changed his... yeah, I don't know what he's going for now. Now he's going for the war factory. He sort of got that truck to red health and then decided not to destroy it. And now he's going to go for the other war factory. And what that's going to mean is that Killer Flow's no longer going to be able to produce any tanks. And we can see Henfer's base there getting surrounded by other tanks. And that is good game for Henfer. And I'm going to wind it on because we can see clearly what's going to happen here. Those tanks... Killer Flow's got no tanks, and his base is just going to get destroyed, and that's the end of the game. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.